I'm Dr. Alistair Noble, and I'm part of a network of scientists and other professionals who, because they are dissatisfied with the all-pervading Darwinian explanation of origins, are attracted to the much more credible position of intelligent design. My own background is in chemistry and in education. I've been a researcher, teacher, advisor, schools inspector and education manager. And I've been interested in the debate about origins since I was a student in the 60s, and have never been convinced that 19th century Darwinism as a comprehensive explanation of how we got here is scientifically credible. Since I've listened to those scientists of the 21st century who argue from the evidence for intelligent design theory, I am even less inclined to accept the reigning neo-Darwinian consensus. The study of origins, the origin of the universe and of life, is like no other area of inquiry because it raises ultimate questions about causes, effects, processes and purposes. While science can never answer all these questions, it can make some judgments about the available evidence. One of the key questions posed by the world around us is whether we are here by chance or by design. There is a strident strain of science which insists that all the design in the world is apparent, not real, and that natural selection, acting on random mutations, is sufficient to explain it all. That kind of science is derived from a view that the only explanations which are acceptable are those which depend purely on physical or materialistic processes. But that is not a scientific finding which is derived from the evidence. It is, in fact, a philosophical position, and a biased one at that, which is brought to the actual evidence. It excludes other kinds of explanation which the evidence may merit. For example, we live in the information age and we take information processing systems like this PC for granted. But it may come as a surprise to learn that each living cell in its DNA carries complex information and processing systems which, as Bill Gates of Microsoft has commented, are far more sophisticated than any of his software programs. Now, the enduring mystery for biology is where that information comes from. In all our experience, information of this level of sophistication only comes from intelligent mind. It is therefore a thoroughly scientific position to infer that the information carried in living things comes from an intelligent source. In scientific jargon, that means making the inference to the best explanation. For me, the information content of DNA alone is sufficient grounds for embracing intelligent design theory. But there are other compelling reasons. Living things contain a vast web of tiny, nanotechnological machines and systems that bear all the hallmarks of engineering design. It flies in the face of all our experience that such marvels of precision would emerge randomly and evolve through the many required intermediate stages, all of which would have to function properly. The sheer complexity of nature demands that, at the very least, we consider that they are designed. And beyond biology, the cosmos we inhabit is a remarkable and beautiful place where the forces that govern it are finely tuned for it to operate and to support life as we know it. Again, the likelihood that this is the result of design has to be seriously considered. It is important to stress that the scientific inference to intelligent design is not based on what we don't know, but on what we do know. We do know that the only source of information of this kind that we see in nature is intelligent mind. The onus really lies on the critics of intelligent design to come up with a more convincing argument than mere chance to explain all of this. Intelligent design unquestionably has philosophical implications and clearly gives support to theistic belief, but it is not itself a religious position. It is crucial to separate its scientific conclusions from the possible implications. In my view, intelligent design is by far the most credible explanation of the scientific data, and I believe that origins, the science of origins, must be debated in these terms. This webcast is designed to be a contribution to that debate.